Hi, good afternoon. This is Chris with Blue Wave Mobile RV Service. Today I'm going to show you how to change out a 12 volt charger in an RV and put in a USB charger. It's a pretty easy, it's a pretty simple task, and we're working with 12 volts, not AC. I'm doing this in my RV. My wife and I live full-time in an RV, so I do a lot of work on my RV and also work on other people's RV. So if we come down here, you can see this is the 12 volt socket, so that's a standard 12 volt socket. I already replaced one, so this is the old one that I pulled out. I've got a place for two sockets, 12 volt chargers in my RV. On the back here, the positive goes on the very back there, connects here, and the negative connects on the side. And I'm going to change it out for one of these USB chargers. So this has got a 5 volt 1 amp and a 5 volt 2.1 amp for a little bit faster charging on the bottom there. It's pretty easy connection on the back. It's got positive and negative, and it's annotated on the back. So the only thing I'll have to do is change out the connectors. Got some female connectors here that'll fit with the USB charger, and I've got my wire clippers or wire crimpers and wire strippers here for the job, some electric tape, and I'll need some a screwdriver, and this came with some screws. The nice thing about this USB charger is it was pretty cheap on Amazon. I got this one for about $11, but some of them are even cheaper than that. I saw them for $5 or $6. Okay, here we are. I'm in my RV. I'm looking on the right hand side. You can see this is a USB charger that I'd changed out. There are two of them. What had happened is this panel here, it was real flimsy on the original, and it just tore completely off, so the 12 volt socket would not stay in place. So on this side, I've got the same problem. It doesn't stay in place, it just slides, and it's not easy to use. So I'm going to replace it, but instead of the 12 volt cigarette lighter socket, I'm going to change it with USB port. USB chargers. Some things to notice here. It's a pretty easy connection. Like I mentioned before, you've got the positive on the top. And by the way, I have cut off power more so that I don't short something while I'm working on this. And here's the negative. Well, I decided I'm going to make this a little bit easier. I'm not going to replace the crimp connectors, although that wouldn't take long at all. I forgot here I had wired in an extra accessory for the tire pressure monitoring system, so I don't want to mess with that. I got it all soldered and taped in there, so I'm just going to take these off, and I'm going to use a lot of electrical tape, or some electrical tape, around the open metal. One thing I have to do is I have to put this wire ring here for the backing. So I got that in there. Okay, so I've got everything hooked up. Pretty easy job. Positive, I put a little red tape. Negative. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn back on my batteries from the battery disconnect switches, and then I'm going to test out to make sure everything works fine. Okay, we're all done now. We're all hooked up. You see the blue light, everything's working. I've got my iPad plugged into it, and iPad's charging fine. So everything looks good. The thing I worry about is that blue light. Even when I unplug the charger, the blue light stays on. So if we're ever dry camping, that'll be a slow drain off the battery. I may put a switch just to the left here so I can shut the circuit off whenever I want to. But that's it for that project. Pretty easy project, and I hope to be doing more of these. I hope you got something out of it. This is Chris Anderson, Blue Wave Mobile RV Service.